Let's say you're a young adult in the Star Wars universe. Maybe you got bored of the land speeder you drove to school in your teenage years and bought a T-47 or a T-16 airspeeder for college, but now you've outgrown that too. So what's next? You've conquered the land, you've conquered the air, and now it's time to go to space. But with millions of ships for sale across the galaxy, how do you know which one is right for you? I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and these are the best Star Wars ships for beginner pilots. Number 9. UT-60D U-Wing. Originally, when I was writing this video, I had the X-Wing in the number 9 position because it is undeniably an easy ship to fly. Luke Skywalker flies one into combat and destroys the Death Star even though he's never flown any spacecraft before, let alone an X-Wing. This is all due to his practice flying an Incom T-16 Skyhopper. If you can graduate from a simple airspeeder straight to a top-of-the-line space superiority fighter, then the fighter in question is clearly good for beginners. However, I felt like that would be a little over the top, like something you'd see in a bad BuzzFeed article that seems like it's trying to include all the ships a reader might be nostalgic for, rather than the ships that actually fit the theme of the article, so I decided to replace it with another Incom product, the UT-60D U-Wing Support Craft. The U-Wing is a very versatile light transport. It is small and maneuverable at only 24 meters long with its S-foils closed. Most of the ship's volume is spent on the troop bay, which can comfortably hold up to 8 passengers in addition to the 2 pilots. This space could easily be turned into a small holding cell for an aspiring bounty hunter, or a humble living area for someone looking to see the galaxy. Space fan life YouTuber, anyone? The cockpit is filled with the standardized controls used in all Incom products, including the X-Wing and the airspeeders I mentioned, meaning it's a great next step for the novice pilot. What makes it unique, however, is the incredible panoramic view offered by the ship's viewports. You can see above, below, ahead, and to the sides, which is very rare for Star Wars ships. Not only is this visibility great for sightseeing, but it is also convenient for new pilots who might want to be able to see better when landing. However, the U-Wing has one major issue that prevents it from being higher on the list. It's very rare. Incom was unfortunately absorbed by the Empire before the U-Wing's first production run was complete, meaning only a few hundred were ever produced. Luckily, a lost shipment of the craft was delivered to the Rebel Alliance, and there are likely more floating around that you could get your hands or other appendages on. Number 8. The Fondor Haulcraft. I also felt like it might be a bit much to include the Fondor too, but Luthen Rael's Fondor in Season 1 of Andor is a highly modified version. The stock Fondor probably behaves more like a smaller version of the Millennium Falcon. Cassian's incredulity at the ship's performance after Luthen picks him up in it certainly suggests this.
What's powering this? I've been in a Fondor Haulcraft. I've flown them. Never seen one do that.
Well, it's been a day of surprises for all of us.
I tried to keep the ships on this list smaller than 30 meters so that they wouldn't take up a lot of space in your yard or local starport, and I estimate the Haulcraft to be around 25 to 30 meters long. It appears to only have one seat in the cockpit, so even without Luthen's droid mod, we can assume that it only needs one pilot. And of course, as Luthen demonstrates, it can be extensively modified if you have enough money. The Fondor Haulcraft is a compact and versatile ship that will keep you happy for years to come, and for that reason, it's number 8 on my list.
Hyperspace calibration complete.
Number 7. The YT-2400. The YT-2400 is a lot like the Fondor Haulcraft in many ways. It's a smaller alternative to the YT-1300, easy to modify, and it only requires a crew of 1. That made it a no-brainer for spot number 7. The 2400 has the added benefits of a wider hull and magnetic clamps on the underside, giving it greater carrying capacity than the relatively narrow Haulcraft. and fans of the famed smuggler and rebellion hero Han Solo will certainly appreciate its resemblance to the Millennium Falcon. Buying one fresh off the assembly line will cost you a small fortune at 130,000 credits, but buying one used will only take 32,000 on average. Number 6. The Z95 Headhunter. The Z95 Headhunter is on this list for the same reason that the X-Wing was going to be. It is an Incom product that shares many controls with their line of airspeeders and will make for an easy transition from air flight to space flight for a novice pilot. It ranks above the X-Wing and U-Wing on this list because it is much easier to get. The Headhunter is used by many pirates and militias around the galaxy. Even the famous bounty hunter Bosk has one. It costs 80,000 credits new and 45,000 credits used, but I expect you could probably find a better deal if you're willing to spend some time fixing one up. Number 5. The H2 Executive Shuttle. If you have more money to spend, but not a lot of space, the H2 Executive Shuttle might be right for you. The H2 is a positively tiny craft at only 14.6 meters long. Presumably it also has relatively easy controls, considering it is marketed towards politicians and businessmen. That tells me it would make a fantastic first Starship. Unfortunately, we don't know how much it costs. I can't imagine that Supreme Chancellor Palpatine would be flying around in something cheap, but at roughly the size of a larger coach bus, it can't possibly be that expensive. Number 4. The GX-1 Short Haul. Now, the GX-1 is stretching my parameters for what is an acceptable beginner starship. The canonical length of the GX-1 is 37 meters long, which is a bit longer than I would like. However, the length in Legends is 29 meters, which is just small enough to make it in. The GX-1 has several different variants to choose from. The ship was originally designed as a cheap personal yacht at 85,000 credits new and 20,500 used, something akin to a high-quality RV. However, Lantillion Shipwrights also produced a diplomatic shuttle version with a laser turret, better communication equipment, and a small shuttlecraft. Later on, they also produced a Starbus variant with lots of passenger seating and a large cargo bay. This cargo bay suggests to me that there is likely a fourth variant designed fully for cargo, but there is no canonical evidence for this. However, even if it isn't canon, it shouldn't be hard to strip out the seats of a Starbus to make one yourself. Wikipedia even suggests that this is very easy to do. What all this means is that you can tailor your GX-1 experience to your specific needs. If you just want to fly yourself around and see the sights, you can get the base model secondhand at a very cheap price for the size of ship that it is. If you're interested in joining the rebellion or live somewhere that piracy is a significant problem, you can likely find the armed diplomatic shuttle version at a government surplus store for a little extra protection. And of course, the Starbus and cargo variants are self-explanatory. Finally, the ship has a crew of only one and room for 10 passengers, so it has more room for you and your team to grow than the other ships on this list. While researching this ship, I discovered a deck plan of it that was created by user Batgirl_3 on Reddit. According to this, the ship has a crew bunk room, a captain's bedroom, a passenger bedroom, a lounge, conference room, a kitchen, a medbay, a machine shop, and more. While as far as I know this is all conjectural on their part, it seemed like a realistic layout for a diplomatic craft of this size and the perfect setup for a home in space. Honestly, this ship is probably my number one pick for any pilot in any career, beginner or otherwise. Bounty hunter, smuggler, courier, space Uber driver, #vanlife YouTuber, whatever you want to be. However, due to its larger size, it is only number 4 on this list. Number 3. The WTK-85A Interstellar Transport. I don't have much to say about the WTK because we don't know much about it yet. However, we do know that it was designed to be flown by a single pilot, and it is fairly small, so that makes it perfect for beginners. Additionally, its incredible speed and fairly decent storage capacity make it a very versatile ship. You can probably pick one up for pretty cheap from just about any ship dealer, such as the ship lot on Ferrex. Number 2. The Breon Dayvan. The Breon Dayvan is one of the newest ships in Star Wars canon, but it has many properties that make it a fantastic choice for a new pilot. For starters, in the Andor Season 1 finale, we see that Jezzy is able to fly it with only brief instructions from Cassian Andor. It doesn't get much easier than that. Like most of the rest of this list, it's very small, so it can be parked wherever you need it to be. It's a very old design, meaning you can likely get it for dirt cheap from just about any shipyard. It appears to be a Cohensayer design like the Y-Wing, meaning it is likely extremely reliable and easy to maintain. We don't know that for sure, but it seems likely. The head section has a very similar styling, it has a similar layout, and the engines are almost identical. It is a very cheap and reliable ship that you can find just about anywhere, making it the second best choice for a new pilot. Number 1. The Tug B-13 Quadjumper. Now this is definitely an unusual choice, but hear me out. It's very compact, it only needs one pilot, it is very commonplace, being found at almost any major shipping hub, and it is very cheap. It has room for 2 passengers and a small amount of cargo. It even has at least one bunk if you decide to take it on a longer trip. You can use it to handle freight, perform search and rescue or salvage operations, or just use it as a personal transport. It is a versatile, dependable, and affordable little ship, and I think it will suit any new pilot very well. So what do you think? Do you agree with my list, especially with my number 1 choice? Which of these ships would you buy if you could? Did I miss any ships that would be good for beginners? Let me know in the comments below. My parameters were that the ship is under 30 meters long, only needs one pilot, and be easily available to civilians, though those were definitely flexible. And let me know if you decide to use one of these ships for a character in a Star Wars role-playing game or some fanfiction you're writing. Anyway, please like the video and subscribe. This is a new channel, so it would mean a lot to me if you did. I'll see you next week. RFC out.